Now, like terms. What are like terms? These are terms that have the same variable that will be requirement number one. For terms to be like, they must have the same variable The exponents of those variables must also be the same. The exponents of those variables must also be the same. If both requirements are met, then we're going to conclude that the terms are like terms. So for you to conclude that terms are like terms, they must have the same variable, and the exponents of those variables must also be the same. Now, how do we deal with the addition and subtraction of like and unlike terms? As I've said, like terms have the same variable, and the exponents of those variables must be the same. Identify like terms here. It's 2x squared. It's a like term with 3x squared. And another like term to those will be 4x squared. What makes these terms to be like terms? They share the same variable, so they meet requirement number one. And the exponents of those variables are also the same. So they meet requirement number two. Meaning that 3x will be a like term with x. They share the same variable, which is x. And the exponent of that variable is 1. If a variable is not written, well, if the exponent of a variable is not written, you must know that the exponent of that variable is 1. Question is, how do we add or subtract like and unlike terms? As I've said, unlike terms either have different variables or they have the same variable, but the exponents of those variables are not the same. Just like I highlighted in the above examples, the ones I circled with red will be unlike terms with the ones I circled in blue. Even though they share the same variable, the exponents of those variables are not the same. Only the ones with blue are like terms, and the like terms of the ones in red have an exponent. Well, the variable is still x, but the exponent of that variable is 1. So the red ones are unlike terms with the blue ones. And the blue ones are like terms on their own, and the red ones will also be like terms on their own. The number in front or behind the variable is called a coefficient. We can only add or subtract like terms. We can only add or subtract like terms. When we add or subtract like terms, we only add or subtract the coefficients of the variables or the coefficients, and the variables remain the same. When we add like terms, we just add the coefficients and the variables remain the same. What are the coefficients again? That will be a number in front or behind the variable. For instance, we said these ones are like terms and the red ones will also be like terms. How do we add the ones in blue? We're going to take 2 minus 3, because this coefficient is negative, it's minus 3, and then you're going to add 4. And you keep x squared as it is. So what is 2 minus 3 minus plus 4? So these are like terms as I've specified, and those will also be like terms. So when you add like terms, you're going to just focus on these. So you're going to say 2 minus 3 plus 4. And on the other side, you're going to have 3 minus 1. With the x squared, I will have 3. How did I get this 3 here? It was simply 2 minus 3 plus 4. How much is that? It is equals to 3. And then you keep the variable and its exponents as they are. That is why we have 3x squared. How did I get this 2 here? I took the ones in red, remember? So I set 3 minus 1, and that is equals to 2. And you keep the variable and its exponent, which is just 1. And that's it. From here, there is absolutely nothing I can do. I can't do anything from there. I can't add those two because they are unlike terms. Even though they share the same variable, the exponents of those variables are not the same. So I cannot add 3x squared with 2x. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. That will be my final answer. My final answer will be 3x squared plus 2x. Let's try these ones. You first circle like terms. Here it's easy to identify like terms because the variables are not the same. But I need you guys to pay attention to the exponents of the variables, because at times the exponents of the variables will be different, but the variables will be the same. If the exponents of the variables are different and the variables are the same, you may not add or subtract those variables. You may not add or subtract those terms. Now we've got 3x being the same as x. And we have 2y be the same as 7y. So you just add or subtract the coefficients. So with the ones highlighted in blue, I've got 3x plus x. That will give me, the variable will remain the same. I will just add the coefficients, which is 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1 will give me 4. And then when it comes to the y's, I have 2y minus 7y. Obviously, the variable will remain the same. Then I'm going to say 2 minus 7. What is 2 minus 7? It is minus 5. So when you write this, you will write it as 4x minus 5y. But please note that 3 is a constant. It's highlighted in green. It means that there is no term that is like 3 in the given expression. So basically, all I'm going to have here is 4x minus 5y plus 3. Please note that I wrote the blue ones next to each other and the red ones next to each other for me to make it easier for me to add them up. Do the same, circle like terms. What are they? 3x squared. Is 7x the same as 3x squared? No. Is minus 6x the same as 3x squared? Are they like terms? No, they're not. Even though they have the same variable, but the exponents of those variables are not the same. What about 2x squared? Is 3x squared a like term with 2x squared? Yes, it is. They have the same variable, and the exponents of those variables are the same. Meaning that 7x will be a like term with minus 6x. So write 3x squared and 2x squared on the side and add them. Let's see what we're going to get. 3x squared plus 2x squared. The variable remains the same. Then I'm going to take 3 and add it with 2. What is 3 plus 2? It is 5. That's how I got that 5x. And then let's take 7x minus 6x. I will write the variable as it is. And then I'm going to say 7 minus 6. What is 7 minus 6? It is 1, but I don't write that 1. That is why I've got just plus x over there. If the coefficient is 1, you do not write that coefficient. After doing that, guys, I cannot add 5x squared with x because those are unlike terms. Even though they share the same variable, but the exponents of those variables are not the same. So I can't add the two. Remember, when the signs are the same, you keep the sign and add. When the signs are different, you subtract and take the sign of the bigger number. Remember that all the time. Your exercise will be exercise 6 on page 91. I think that will be enough for the weekend, guys. Enjoy your Friday and enjoy your weekend. See you guys on Monday, and I need all my work completed.